Semi-arid lands have plenty of sun and are very good for agriculture, such as in California or Arizona, which are supplied by snowmelt water from the Rocky and Sierra Mountains. But most semi-arid lands around the world do not have such water supplies. 15% of the world's surface area is semi-arid. Semi-arid is not as harsh as arid and has substantial rainfall, but due to intense solar irradiation and evaporation from the soil and transpiration from the plants, the semi-arid is dry land without much vegetation. The combined term for evaporation and transpiration is evapotranspiration. There are, however, topographic exceptions in semi-arid dryland, as you can see in this rendering. When you travel in California, Texas, or the Middle East, you will see different patterns of vegetation on a hill with a slope to the north and a slope to the south. The northern slope is usually green and lush, since it is partially shaded, so evaporation from the soil and the plants is reduced. Therefore, rainfall is retained, allowing for vegetation growth, while the southern slope and the flat terrain nearby are bone dry. This is a public work project we saw in San Angelo, Texas, where, as you can see, grass appeared spontaneously on the northern shaded slope 2 weeks after digging. Our goal is to transform semi-arid dry land into arable land that can support cultivation by construction through earthmoving of slopes which will promote the vegetation patterns found on natural slopes. Crops will then be planted on the northern slope of the new arable land. Our research and development program includes scientists, agronomists, and engineers from Tanzania, Italy, Kenya, Botswana, Nigeria, India, Brazil, and the United States. The shaded slopes of the altered landscape will provide new arable land for cultivation. We plan to start in Africa, where the need is great. Engineers from Denmark and the Netherlands are helping with earth-moving robotics to create the slopes. Government agencies are interested mainly in specialized, narrow research proposals, rather than providing funding to such broad, integrative programs. Due to the appeal of the program to the general public and foundations, the agenda is to raise an initial total of $1 million in donations through crowdfunding. The proceeds will be distributed to the international collaborators as seed funding, which is expected to be followed by funding from each respective government. 15% of the Earth's land surface is semi-arid, more than twice the total area of the United States. Hundreds of thousands of square miles around the world could be transformed into arable land. In harsh desert regions with less rainfall, the slopes can be used to improve grazing conditions. Yes, there are environmental consequences for cultivation on new arable land. All agricultural activities on new or existing arable land have ecological impact. But the world's arable land is dwindling due to desertification, soil erosion, and contamination. Most of the world's arable land today is already utilized, and for mitigating world food crises, formation of new arable land is crucial. In latitudes between 23 degrees north and 23 degrees south, as in the sub-Sahara, an interesting possibility exists, since the sun shines in the winter from the south and in the summer from the north. Symmetrical slopes have the potential for using one slope in the summer and the second slope in the winter, depending on the annual rainfall patterns, making better use of the land. In addition, local food production could create jobs, reduce shipping cost of imported food, and provide economic development for countries which need it most. Since semi-arid soil requires more organics, the new arable land could also address climate change and could even become a carbon sink. We are developing new carbon sequestrant technologies for and by the semi-arid soil. Please see our website. This enterprise has the potential to provide new arable land for food production, new jobs and economic development, and could help to feed the 1.1 billion people in semi-arid regions, the most vulnerable people on Earth. This new cultivation method could also alleviate the current world food crisis due to the Russia-Ukraine war. Extraordinary problems require extraordinary solutions.